Om Shanti. Today we have a beautiful Avyakta Murli of 16 March 95. And today is a special day because today is also the remembrance day of Didi Manmohini, who was one of the pillars of the Yajna, and it's still serving in the subtle form. So we're also going to know some of her values and specialities and connect. So today in Murli, Baba is talking about satisfaction, contentment, and Baba shares a very simple yukti that you, just by remembering the attainments, you will be satisfied and all the questions shall end. Baba says there should not be any questions in you for anyone, and not even an exclamation mark, but always a full stop with the awareness of drama. So today's Murli's title is The Sign of a Soul Complete with All Attainments is to be content and satisfied. Sign of a soul complete with all attainments is to be content and satisfied. The soul which is fulfilled, full in all attainments, will always be satisfied. Today, Bab Dada, the one who enables you to attain all attainments, is seeing his children in all four directions who are complete with all attainments. You are the children of the complete and perfect Father, the bestower of all attainments. And so, Baba has given each child the inheritance of all attainments. It is not that he has given someone 10% or someone else 20%. He has given all the children the right to all attainments. All the children have a right to the full inheritance. So Baba says it's not percentage wise, but he has given the right to full inheritance. Bab Dada is seeing to what extent every child who has a right has claimed that right. Baba has given everything. The Father is called the Almighty Authority, the one with all powers and the complete ocean. However, to what extent have the children made all those attainments their own? When you make the inheritance given by the Father belong to you, do you have that much intoxication and happiness? Baba says if you have that sense of belongingness, there will automatically be that happiness and intoxication within. But if we don't feel like belonging, then there will not be that much happiness and contentment. These are my treasures. Baba is again reminding us that these are your treasures. They are given by the Father, but you have adopted them and made them your own. Given by the Father, but adopted by us. So what did Bab Dada see? Or have you become number wise in making them your own? Baba has not created numbers, but the instilling according to your own capacity has made you number wise. The way we are instilling the knowledge or imbibing the knowledge, inculcating the knowledge, that is making us number wise. Baba has not created numbers. What are the signs of a soul who has all rights and is full with all attainments, who stays in the intoxication and experience of all attainments from Amrit Vela until night? That is a constant link, right from the Amrit Vela till the night. Baba says who remains in the intoxication. What is the sign? The sign of attainments is contentment. Such souls are constantly a jewel of contentment and spread the sparkle and vibrations of contentment to others. Contentment is a big subject and value. And Baba has many times mentioned that it is this value that attracts all other values. Contentment. So those who are contented, they will always spread the vibrations of contentment. Then Baba always says that you have to be satisfied in every subject, with you, with the family, with Baba, with drama. You have to be satisfied. So Baba says those who are contented, then their vibrations will spread. Their faces will constantly be satisfied. Prasannachit, satisfied, happy, prasannachit. To be satisfied means to be free from all types of questions, prashnachit. Questions, prashna. So such soul will be free from all the questions. There will not be any questions. Will there be any questions? Why, what, how? All these questions have finished. So have you become satisfied to this extent, or do you still have some questions sometimes? Like Baba says that if you are fulfilled, complete, then you will be satisfied. And if you have questions, then you need to check where is that emptiness. Questions always arise from some emptiness within. So Baba says, check. Or do you have some questions sometimes? What is this? Why is this like that? How will this happen? When will it happen? Do you have these questions? Do any questions arise, whether in your mind or through others? Are you the embodiment of satisfaction or the embodiment of questions? Which is okay if you need some clarification, that is fine. But if you're just questioning out of doubt and out of anticipation, then Baba says this is a sign of lacking. Do any questions arise, whether in your mind or through others, or you are the embodiment of satisfaction? Are you sometimes the embodiment of questions and sometimes the embodiment of satisfaction? What are you? You are laughing. You are not saying yes. Otherwise, all of you would say with great enthusiasm, yes, we are the embodiment of satisfaction. That conviction should come from within. So the Baba is sharing, how will that conviction come? If we have complete faith in Baba and remain in intoxication of the attainments, that conviction will come that there are no questions, but I am the embodiment of satisfaction. Sometimes you are this and sometimes you are that. Acha, generally, it is remembered that nothing is lacking in the treasure store of Brahma Kumaris, Brahmins. Nothing is lacking in the treasure store of Brahmins. Whose praise is this? Which Brahmins does this praise belong to? Does it belong to you or of those who are yet to come? You are this. So when there is a lack of attainment, then this lack of attainment is the reason for discontentment. Look at your own experience. Whenever your mind is discontented, what is the reason for that? Let's check. Whenever we have questions or there's discontentment, what is the reason? Is it because you feel the lack of something or other, and only then do you feel discontentment? So there is the praise. Baba says, what is the praise? That the present or of the time of destruction. This praise is of now, that nothing is lacking. Will you become complete at the time of destruction, or are you going to become complete now? Do you have to become this now, or will you become this at some time? This is also a lack of faith. Sometime in the end, Baba says you have to become it now. You have to become this now. Acha, do you have to become, or are you already this? What do the Pandavas say? Do you have to become, or are you already this? Are you constantly this? We are sometimes. Baba is underlining the word constantly. the embodiment of satisfaction? Or is there sometimes a little? How many contented souls would there be of those who think that they constantly remain satisfied and that they do not have any questions about the self or others in any respect, and who are constantly contented? So Baba is asking that how many souls are such? There are many. Acha, those who think that they constantly remain satisfied, that no matter how much Maya makes them fluctuate, they will not fluctuate, but will make Maya fluctuate. Maya may salute you, but you will not fluctuate. That you are Angad. When is that satisfaction shaking? When there is some Maya which is coming to fluctuate, but then Baba says you're Angad and you won't fluctuate. Your Angad, Maya may be defeated, but you are victorious. He says Maya can be defeated, but you remain victorious. Those who are like this, raise your hands. See how Baba slowly is raising the levels. Our levels. First, Baba was asking about satisfaction, then he asked about that constant embodiment of contentment, and then he's saying you are unshakable, immovable, victorious. So those who are like this, raise your hands. So here I would like to quote the incident when Didi Manmohini, she was, after Mama, she was mainly into the administration part with Baba, and she used to handle all the internal works of Madhuban and Yagya. So her faith in Baba was very much firm and unshakable. Once there was a gathering, and then Baba just raised a question that if Baba asks you to jump in this well, then who is ready? Didi was the one who, without any thoughts, and she just raised her hand and she said, Baba, I'm ready. So Baba said that, Bachi, you are past, but Baba will never ask children to get drowned. But then you got past because you have that faith and Maya cannot shake you. And you have that faith like Angad that you are victorious. So Baba is asking us children that do any thoughts or any questions arise within us, or we are victorious and we win over Maya. Again, Baba is underlining this word. Always remember the word constantly. You are not those who are something only sometimes. There are very few of you. There are only a few out of multi-millions. The teachers are this. However, there are question marks, are there not? The question marks should be removed from your dictionary. There should not be any fluctuation. That will be our effort now, that we will not question drama, question souls, question situations, question Baba. That arises out of fluctuation. So Baba says there should not be any fluctuation. When you use the computer, this comes up, does it not? The question marks, they come up, they pop up. So Baba says they come up. So whenever you use the computer of your intellect, then what is happening? Using the computer of the intellect, it should be able to apply a full stop. The programming has to be such that whatever is happening, I am putting a full stop. That has to go into an automated mode. Now we are making an effort because the questions are coming in an automated way because the programming was such. And now what Baba is expecting is our inner programming out of Gyan has to be reprogrammed, and it should be such that whatever happens, our intellect should be able to put a full stop. That full stop, it should pop up. The sign of a question mark or an exclamation mark should finish. This is known as being constantly satisfied. Those who are satisfied in this way finish the question marks of others. Only those who can finish the question of themselves can finish the question of others. So if we really want to be solution for someone, solution oriented, we must be solution oriented for the self. We must be able to finish off the questions within the self. So Baba says, otherwise, if there are question marks in the self, then whenever you hear or see something, you say, this should not happen, but it does happen. If there is question mark, there is no clarity, then this kind of statement will be made by us. This should not happen, but it does happen. I also think that this should not happen. You mix with others in this way. Otherwise, there has to be a clarity, a conviction, but we're taking a midway. We're trying to mix. This makes you underline their questions. It is not a solution, but it is even underlining the questions. You have given them your support. Then say, this is not right, but it does happen. So you did not make the other person satisfied, but in fact, you increased their questions. You added to them. So this is a checking point that whether we are adding to the questions or providing the solution to the self or to others. So a soul with complete clarity will not take a midway. It will give a solution, and such solution will completely satisfy the other person. So again, Didi Manmohini had this quality in her that she had that clarity of knowledge and dharana, that she would always provide the solution to anything. And the solution will be completely accepted by the other person. The other person will get completely satisfied, and it will be doable for the person. The doubts would end. Didi would not say, hota hai, ho jata hai, this is not right, it should not happen. She would give a complete clear solution. Once there was an incident in Madhuban that two sisters were talking for a long time about something. Didi saw, and when one of the sisters saw that Didi was passing by, she got up and went. And Didi came to the other sister and asked that, what were you talking about? So she said, Didi, we were just chit-chatting the points of knowledge. Didi said that, okay, then what was the point you were talking and churning about? So she was quiet. Didi said that, see, if you were churning about, if you had been churning about knowledge, you would not hesitate. And very lovingly, she said that you should share your heart only with Baba and not with any human soul, because they will just multiply the things. So that was the teaching given by Didi with such a conviction that it just came into the dharana instantly and very strongly. So the person with that clarity, the soul with that clarity, will always give the clear solution in the exact solution, and not any midway supporting the soul, but a clear solution with the power to inculcate that. So again, what Baba is saying here is, you should not increase the questions. You should provide a solution and correct them if needed, but then with that conviction and that love. So Baba says that if you're satisfied, only then can you give a solution. It was a question of only one person, and now it has become question of two. When you support to such questions, to such doubts, then it becomes, it gets shared and becomes questions for four people. Now they also again doubt. So the vibrations of having questions spreads much more quickly than the vibrations of being satisfied. The more you share this doubt or this question with people, and the more you are making them full of questions, and the vibrations of questions are spreading. You say, yes, it is like this. So you give others your support in this way. You use the exclamation mark. So this is not a full stop. If somebody is sharing with you something which is wasteful or not very needed, and if you support, hota hai, it's okay, it is like this, though you're not interested, but if you're saying these words, that means you are increasing, adding to the person's thoughts of questions. Instead, you must put a full stop. Didi had that capacity and that power. Whenever somebody used to share something to her in a very long sentences, Didi would say, leave it, brother, we have to go home. That was the tagline of Didi. Ab ghar jana hai, ab ghar jana hai. Till the end, she was very much firm with this, that ab ghar jana hai and ab wind up karna hai. So you have to put a full stop and not a question mark, whether for your own self. I should not be doing this. See, we use this conversation with the self also. I should not be doing this. I should receive this. Others should not have this. This wanting makes you full of questions and doesn't allow you to be satisfied. Even for the Purusharth also we say, I should be doing this. I should not be doing this. This is also not making us satisfied and keeping us away from the attainments. So these questions should not arise within us. I should not be doing this. So this is wanting, which is making you full of questions. So what is everyone's aim? To be contented and satisfied. That is the aim. The speed of wastage in the mind and intellect of those who are satisfied will not be fast. Those who are satisfied will not have questions. Those who are satisfied will be solution oriented. Those who are satisfied will satisfy others, and those who are satisfied, the speed of wastage will not be fast. The waste thoughts will not be there. They will constantly be gentle and humble. Those who are satisfied, they're not disturbed. No? There's no disturbing energy. What prevents you from being gentle? When is the gentleness going away? When there is some disturbing energy. Disturbing energy means questions, dissatisfaction. So there will always be gentleness and humble humility within the one who is satisfied. Because of being humble, they will constantly give everyone the coolness of the shadow of being the embodiment of satisfaction. Coolness of the shadow. Shitalta, what Baba says, this is also a power, giving someone that shelter. The importance of shelter is very much in the world. That you give shelter, you're giving a life to someone. But then the shelter from the mind, that the burning mind, the arising questions, they end, they cool down, the person is cooling down. So that coolness of the shadow will be given only by the one who has satisfaction within. No matter how much they are burning like a fire or how hot someone's temper may be, under the vibrations of this shadow, they will become cool. They can be burning because of some other reason, some other soul, or because of us. But the soul with that power to cool down will make that temper down, will provide that shelter. Whenever Didi used to give some teachings and somebody used to get hurt or come in feeling, Didi would not think about anything, but she would go, even if she was right, she would go and very humbly she would say that, brother, I didn't mean that, but it was said because of this. Still, if you felt it, I'm sorry. Don't take it in heart. So this is the power of a contented soul. This is the power of a soul who is always gentle and humble. So they will always give other person the shadow of coolness. So they will come down. So under this vibration, what is the weakness that comes up? Generally, you move along very well. In your own way, you move along very well. Baba is asking, what is the weakness that comes up? But when you come into relationship and connection with others, then while seeing and hearing of the weaknesses of others, you come into their influence. You come into influence. A weak soul will come into the influence. That is the weakness, what Baba is pointing out. The soul with lower immunity will come into the influence. The soul with intoxication of knowledge and the soul which is powerful will not come into the influence. So Baba says, those who come, what is the weakness? While coming into relationship and connection, if you're coming into the influence of the highs or of the lows, if we're coming into the influence, then that is the weakness, and that will halt our way. Then what do you see? This one did this, and this is why I also did it. The other person did it, and this is the reason I also did it. This one said this, and so I also said this. Sangakarang. Therefore, Baba says many times in many Murlis, always remain in the influence of Baba. With that influence, you will be protected from the influence of other souls. But if we lose that connection, that link, then we come into the influence. So there will be these statements made then. I also said this, that one said something 50 times, and I said something only once. Then you put forward very sweet words in front of Father. You say, Baba, at least you should understand a little. To what extent am I going to tolerate? We have these questions. Baba sees and Baba loves. That is the questions of someone who is somewhere lacking knowledge. To what extent am I going to tolerate all this? You are still effort makers, and so you will feel a little. Will you not? They say this. I'm still an effort maker, so I will feel this. You begin to explain to Baba in this way. You tell many stories to those who are instruments here. Then all the Brahmin souls and souls connected to you, with them also you go and you share these stories. This happened, they did this. A weak soul will always seek approval on the wrong. They somewhere inside they know they have become weak and got into feeling or did something wrong, but they would seek approval. Acceptance is the key. We accept and we change, but then we should not explain things, not needed. And children, they explain things to Baba as well. Baba, you do not know. You don't understand.
तो दीदी जी उसको वेरीफाई करा बहुत अच्छी तरीके से समझा करके उनको आगे बढ़ने के लिए समझाने देकर प्रेरणाएं और कभी उनकी पर नहीं रखा, लेकिन आमने सामने क्लियर कराने के बाद इसलिए कभी झूठ
So Baba says that you begin to explain to Baba in this way. You tell many stories to those who are instruments here. You relate this, do you not? It was like this, it was like that. It was like this, it was like that. You turn the rosary off, it was like this. Bab Dada constantly gives the signal that you have to speak of such things briefly in just few words. Something is bothering you, you must share, but not with the intention of getting approval, but with the intention of getting the right solution. Okay? So Baba says you must share, but in very few words and not long explanations, because the wasteful things are very delicious. They are very entertaining. Just as in food also, you like sweet and sour food very much, and if it is bland, simple, you say, we eat this all the time anyway. This, what happens is that We want some spices. So Baba says that while talking also, in statements, you elongate. We eat this all the time anyway. So while moving along, your interest in listening, speaking, and doing wasteful things increases. As you go along, your interest is increasing in these things. You know? You have to check in this Brahmin life that our interest should not go on this path. And then you think, I did not want to, but that one wanted to tell me. So I said, okay, let me listen to them so that their heart becomes empty. This is the reason they give that हमको दूसरे के दिल को हल्का करना है, so let me listen to them. So both ways, you should not give long explanation. If somebody is giving long explanation to you, just sense the intention of the soul. Are they coming for solution? Are they open for it? Or they just want some verification and approval from me? So what Baba says, that one's heart became empty, but you filled your heart out of waste. While filling your heart with that little again and again, you create a sanskar. If you keep listening to such wasteful and long conversation, then Baba says, little, it will become your sanskar. And when you have this sanskar, you don't even realize that this is wrong. Sanskars are so profound, they won't make you realize that you're wrong. The realization power ends. Therefore, Baba says, check and protect. This wasteful sanskar finishes the decision power of the intellect. This is why the easiest method of constantly remaining content is to constantly keep one special attainment or other in front of you. Okay, so here are two things. What Baba is saying, that if you have this sanskar, then the realization power ends, the decision-making power ends. So for this decision-making power, Didi Manmohini, she always used to say that how to decide if it is Maya or not. If anything is breaking your link with Baba, anything, any conversation, any soul, any instrument, anything, any situation, then it is Maya. Anything which is connecting you to Baba is truth. And anything which is disconnecting, you're getting disconnected to Baba, from Baba, then this is Maya. So this decision-making power has to be very, very strong. So one is that our decision-making power finishes, and what solution Baba is giving that to remain content now. You have to always be in the awareness of some attainment, some special attainment, because you never forget attainments. That is the quality of attainments, that you don't forget attainments, prapti, wo yaad reh jati hai. You may forget points of knowledge, but no one can ever forget an attainment. Even with one conversation, you can forget the conversation, but not the energy behind it, not the vibration. That was the attainment. So we have to keep in front all our attainments that we have from Baba. So what have you received from the Father? How much have you received from the Father? You like a variety, do you not? You do not like the same thing all the time. So look at your attainments. How much attainment do you have of the treasures of knowledge? How many powers have you attained through yoga? How many attainments of the divine virtues do you have? These are all the attainments we're going to list down. And if you want to elaborate, you have a sanskar of elaborate these points. What are the attainments I have? What are the divine virtues that I have attained? How many attainments do you have of practically maintaining that intoxication and happiness? This is the key, that to maintain that happiness and intoxication, remember the attainments. It is a long list, is it not? You were told earlier also that you have to remain content by keeping the attainment of any one virtue in front of you. Because when you adopt even one virtue, just as the vices have a very deep relationship with one another, if externally you have anger, then together with anger, if you check internally, there will also be greed and ego within. They have a unity. The vices, they have a unity. So at the time, for the same time, same way, the values also, they are united. So then Baba says, there will, if there's anger, there's also greed and ego within. Some are in the immersed form and some are in the merged form. So too, virtues have a connection with one another. You may keep one virtue in an immersed form, but other virtues would also be merged with that one. So every day, definitely have the experience of being the embodiment of one or the other attainment. If the attainment is in an immersed form, then all the lack of attainment will be finished and you will constantly remain content. In fact, in the world also, what is the main attainment that everyone wants? Baba is specifying all the attainments which people want. So, one is each one has the desire to attain a good name for the self. Name. Second is regard. And third is honor. Baba puts this as Nam, Man, and Shan. Nam, regard is Man, and honor is Shan. They wish to attain name, regard, and honor. Now see how beautifully Baba is transforming all the lockic and limited concept to the unlimited. What do you wish? You also want this, do you not? Not of the limited, but of the unlimited. People of the world chase after a limited name and look at your own name. Now let us become embodiment of all these Mahavakyas. Baba tells us to us that look at your own name. Does anyone else in the world have such a elevated name as yours? Baba says you're Brahmins. So anyone in the world has such elevated name? Yes or no? So look at your own name. The main speciality of your name is as, what is the special thing about it? To who is chanting your name? God himself is chanting your name. So what could be a greater name than this? The name chanted by God itself becomes very valuable and rich. So Baba says, what could be greater than this? Even now, in your last birth, many souls are creating their livelihood with your name. How? Baba says you're Brahmins. So with your name, many souls are creating their livelihood. You're the foundation. And the elevated task you have done on basis of that, those souls, they are just by chanting it or by using that knowledge verbally, they are earning their livelihood. So even by the names of Brahmins, those who are Brahmins in name only are also earning so much even today. Brahmins, ये प्रथा है ना, Brahmins को खिलाते हैं या Brahmins को दान करते हैं. They're earning just by having that name of Brahmins. So actually, why? Because it has started in Sangam Yuga. We have given so much attainments to everyone by our connection with Baba that they are even in the last birth, they are earning from our name. So our name became valuable because Baba used it in his chanting. Baba is remembering us and taking our name. So Brahmin is your name, is it not? Or is it their name? It is your name. There is so much praise for your name. Your name has become so elevated, and this is why you do not chase after a limited name. Those who are intoxicated with the unlimited, they will not chase after a limited. No one ever mentions my name for anything. See, this is how Maya comes. No one ever mentions my name for anything. My name is always last. I'm the one who does all the service, and the names of others are mentioned. So do not chase after a limited name. Your name is constantly elevated in Baba's heart. The biggest attainment, our name is constantly in Baba's heart. Since your name is in Baba's heart, what does it matter if your name is not mentioned in any service or any program or anything? Even in our work field, we see that we want name. So Baba says, always have that picture that your name is elevated in Baba's heart. It is in Baba's heart. On the path of bhakti, they show the image of Hanuman. Who did he have in his heart? He had Ram. And what is in Baba's heart? The children. So are you among the children or not? Are all of you included? Acha, are those who are translating also amongst them? Though they were translators then. So Baba is pointing them. They are serving you, the translators. Acha, so everyone's name is mentioned. Have you really seen it? What if it is sometimes missed out? Now Baba is asking, what if it is missing out? The names of all of you are mentioned. It cannot happen. Baba is unlimited and almighty, and all the names, all of us names are mentioned. So why do you chase after other names? Because for the majority, it is the name, regard, and honor that make you fall. Especially for the Brahmins, these three things, they make us fall, and it also increases your intoxication. So if it is in the limited frame, it will make us fall. And if it is in the unlimited frame, it will increase our intoxication. So look at it in the terms of attainment. If, for instance, your name is for some reason incognito, and you think that your name should be glorified, it is right that your name should be glorified. But because of some karmic account or the sanskars of another soul, your name is not glorified. Even in work area and families also this happens, that we have done something good and our name should be taken and be in front, but it is not glorified. So Baba says there's some karmic account, and other souls have that sanskar of projecting themselves or something, that your name is not glorified. You may be right, Baba is saying. Baba is taking your side. You may be right, and the other person is wrong, and still the other person's name is glorified and yours is not. Your name is fixed in the rosary of victory. Still, Baba says, do not have that feeling of lacking, because your name is fixed in the rosary of victory. Vijay Mala mein naam, Baba ke Vijay Mala mein hamara fix hai. Therefore, do not worry about that. The name is coming or no, had ki prapti, limited attainment. Baba says, do not come in the influence of that. Your name is fixed. Therefore, do not worry about that. Maya comes in this form a great deal. Therefore, even if your name is missed out by mistake now, it does not matter, because your name cannot be missed from the rosary of victory. It is missed, it is taken. A soul with the unlimited intoxication and attainment will not be influenced with these small things. So Baba says it does not matter, and your name is fixed in the rosary of victory. Internally, you should have that intoxication. First will be your name. If you did something and you're incognito, your name will raise in that rosary of victory. So remember the praise of your name, that your name is in Baba's heart and in the rosary of victory. Your name will be doing service till the end. And how much regard do you receive? Naam ka bataya. Abhi Baba is telling about man, regard. Even God has kept you ahead of himself. Does he say children first or does he say the father first? So God himself has given you so much regard. You have so much regard, and the proof of that is that even your non-living images have so much praise even in this last birth. That non-living images, our remembrance, our yadgar is getting so much praise and man because Baba has kept our man in Sangam Yuga, God himself. Whether knowingly or unknowingly, they look at the images of the deities with so much regard. They may not have that knowledge emerge, but then they look in whenever they look into the eyes of deities or their non-living structure, they have a lot of regard. The most elevated regard is for your images, even now, for the images of deities. This is your proof that in Sangam Yuga Baba has kept our regard. Since your images are so regard worthy and worship worthy, the one whom you give regard to is also considered to be worship worthy. You always say worship worthy, one who is worthy to be worshipped. So this is your practical proof that they have so much regard for your images, and it is because there is this regard in the living form that they give it to your images. There's a connection, no? There is something that has happened in the living form is then continuing in the as a tradition. So Baba says it is now that you have, that Baba has given you regard. If the living images did not receive regard, how could the images, how could they receive? So you heard about your name and about your regard. Baba always says, children first. Children are worshipped in two ways, and Father is worshipped in one way only. Many times Baba says this, कि बच्चे डबल पूज्य हैं, बाबा सिंगल पूज्य है, क्योंकि Baba is incorporeal and he is remembered in the form, in Dwapar Yuga, in the Nirakar form, but children, along with the Nirakar form, they're all also remembered in the Sakar form, in the form of deities. Baba doesn't come in the world of Satya, so he's not remembered in his Sakar form, but in only Nirakar form. So Baba says you are double worshipped. So regard for you is greater than the regard for the Father. So you receive such elevated regard. So then Baba says that whenever any limited aspect of regard arises, this will happen. Any limited aspect of regard is arising, what will the regard from souls do? When you have regard, when you receive regard from the Supreme Soul, what will it do? Do not think, I do so much and still no one asks me about anything. Do not think this. This is wasteful. Anything limited that you chase after is like a shadow. You have seen a shadow, have you not? Whenever you try to catch hold of a shadow, are you able to do this? Or does the shadow run further away? Limited name and limited regard are like this. Chasing after limited name and regard, they're running away. They're visible under the sun of Maya, but in fact, they're nothing. Sun, see how beautifully Baba puts up. It is a sun of Maya that we see. We will get name, limited name and regard, but then they are nothing, merely shadow. So you have received name, you have received regard, and how much honor, prestige is given to you. The third point of attainment, Shan, honor, prestige. You're honored so much. Remember each honor of yours. And who has made you sit so honorably? The Father. You're seated on the heart throne of the Father. What is the greatest honor of all? It is the ruling status. Rajyapad. Rajai, that is the biggest honor. So Baba says, now you're seated in the heart throne of Father, and in future you will be seated in that world throne. So Baba says you receive the throne and the crown. You are seated on the heart throne of the Supreme Soul. And what could be a greater honor? Sometimes you make a mistake in making a small decision. The real honor, the spiritual honor, will never make you feel insulted. It will not give you any kind of feeling of insult. This is the law, the real honor. And if we are in that spiritual and real honor, there will be no feeling of insult. But what do you sometimes do? It is in fact arrogance, but you think that you have to maintain your honor. That you have to maintain your honor, this much honor at least, it is good to maintain your honor. Chalte chalte, this comes into the mind that I have to behave in a certain way, talk in a certain way, and act in a certain way so that my honor is maintained. So Baba says, check whether it is honor or it is arrogance. Those who have real honor, they will not have that feeling of insult, or they will not show arrogance. So Baba says, check whether it is your honor or arrogance. Sometimes you consider your arrogance to be your honor, pride, and then you're not able to be humble. Whenever you're not able to be humble, you are in trap of the limited honor. You're chasing it. And you're not in that real, unlimited honor. So this results into arrogance, and then you're not able to be humble. And the sign of arrogance is that you may consider your pride to be real and others consider it to be arrogance. And so whenever someone says something, you feel insulted. There will always be a feeling of insult for the one who has arrogance. So there will always be a feeling of insult. And you might feel that this is honor or this is your pride and state, but then others will have that feeling, the vibration of arrogance from you. Those who have arrogance will very quickly feel any insult. A very deep law which Baba is explaining us, that check, and this decision should be very, very clear. Decision making power, we miss out on that if our intellect is not clear. So Baba says you have to identify the real honor and the arrogance. So even when something says something jokingly, they will feel insulted. Someone is saying it in a light way, and if you're feeling insulted, that means you're attached to your limited honor, you're chasing that, and then you feel insulted. This is the sign of arrogance. They will think, no, I am not like that. They should not say that. So make an accurate decision. Decide accurately. If you are actually that, or you're actually not that, and somebody is saying that, you will not feel it. You will not feel, you will remain in that honor of yours. So Baba says, make an accurate decision. At that time, you create a weakness in making the right decision. At that time, we come into the influence and make mistake. Instead of it being accurate, it becomes mixed, and yet you consider it to be accurate. Generally, it is said, this one is very good, but his way of speaking, sitting, walking, etc. seems very arrogant. Even when someone says this, there is a feeling of being insulted. So also check the difference between self-respect, honor, and arrogance. So constantly keep in an immersed form how great your self-respect and how great your pride are. Constantly keep the unlimited name, regard, and honor in an immersed form. Do not let it be merged, but keep it in an immersed form. Just as sometimes there is carelessness in remembrance, I belong to the Father anyway, so I don't need to remember him. However, with any immersed thought, you are able to experience attainment. Don't be careless by saying that I belong to him, I don't need to remember him. Baba says, no, keep it immersed. When it is immersed, then you have that attainment. In the same way, remain alert in every aspect of dharana. Do not be careless. So dharana is another subject which always Didi also maintained very strictly that all the dharana should be accurately followed. Didi was accurate in that. Didi would always reach in the class before time with her diary and pen and specs, and would never miss any murli or any schedule of the yajna. So here Baba says that don't be careless because time is coming close, and what notice is the time giving become equal. Become equal and become perfect. So look at the challenge of time. You do not have anything lacking. Okay, anything lacking, what else do you attain? There is again a lot of explanation to that. And in physical terms also you have to check about relationship and anything, and in terms of soul, right from Amrit Vela till the night, what all attainments do we have? We have to remain in the intoxication of it and always have those attainments in the immersed form. Only then can we remain contented and satisfied. Okay, so we'll stop here because it's time now. And the Murli may be continued tomorrow. But then today, whatever Baba says, it is a very profound Murli with lots of teachings, and we'll carry those points and those checking points. We will revise this Murli in the day, and also remember Didi, Didi who was an embodiment of dharana and remembrance. She will continue to inspire us, and you may go on and check about her a lot more in YouTube. And there's a movie released on her, which is very inspiring, Didi Manmohini. You can check it on the Awakening channel, and whenever you get time today, and get inspired by it, that how our seniors, they moved and they attained that stage of completion. We are also on the same path, and we have to keep aligning ourselves to our lakshya. Okay. Okay. Shanti. This is a small glimpse of Didi Manmohini as we are remembering her today. Few of her qualities we shared in the Murli as well. And Didi was a very strong, loving, and powerful soul. And she maintained the uh, dignity of the yajna along with Dadi Prakashmani, Bari Dadi, and they together did the administration and expanded the yajna to this. So she's remembered today. So we'll also take inspirations from her Purusharth. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister. बहुत बहुत दिल से thanks for mentioning these wonderful specialties, thoroughly cherished. So I want to share few things for new Baba's soul here. In Sakar Murli question answers, those were started by Didi ji. And in evening Numashan Yoga, that was told to us by Asha Didi, that she started the Numashan Yoga also. And Didi's main beautiful slogan was Ab Ghar Jana Hai. Now is the time to be situated in our own home, to be comforted, to feel what home is. So our inspiration is, my takeaway is, what is my home like and how beautiful it is, how respectful it is, how detached, how full-fledged, full of divine inculcations we become. And it's so beautiful to be in the home. She came into his essence and she kept telling everyone motivated that ab ghar jana, now is the time to remember our own sweet home, to be detached from this material world and to situate us to have that feel of our own home and become that empowered. Om Shanti, sister.
In the interest of time, we shall complete here, everyone. Thank you, Amritaben. And we shall connect again tomorrow morning at 5:30. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.